How you doing, pioneers? This is mjkk613.14. Pie through my eyes, unofficial. Also, Mahdi and Pie English, mjkk61. You know, got a lot going on in my mind right now. And one of the biggest things, I just got into a discussion about value, how to value pie, okay, and I know what I'm going to say is totally off the wall from whatever you're thinking, using models, exchanges, whatever you're doing to give something of value, especially crypto. The way I see it, and the way I see how pie will get its starting value, you're not going to find it in any textbooks. You're not, because it's not there. It's been written out of, actually, because the system that we use today was set up by the 1 or 2% that control it today. Yeah, and J.P. Morgans and Stanleys and Rockefellers and Rothschilds and Vanderbilts and all those are the people that actually built this system. And I think a little farther down the line, probably in the 40s, when the U.S. became the world reserve currency, is when all hell broke loose. I mean, when it started going on its downhill spiral, it started then. Okay? Because up until that time, I believe the world reserve of the world currency was the pound sterling coming out of England. And after World War II, we were the powerhouses. Yeah, we had. Okay. We got drawn into the war. We helped all the European countries. We went over and helped them so they could survive. And when that part of it was done, we took on the Japanese by ourselves. Yeah, there weren't any allies that helped us with the Japanese. So we fought both fronts. And when we got done, we were the powerhouses. Bottom line. And at that time, we could loan money to all these other warring countries. So they were already indebted to us for us sending them military goods, loaning them money, whatever. Okay? So after World War II, now I am an American, and I am proud to be American. I'm just not real proud of what us kind of equated to the Chinese. Chinese are good people. Americans are, for the most, are good people. It's just the people that we end up putting them in office or that are in office. That's a different story, different whatever. Okay. But the monetary system that's set up was set up back then. Yeah. Because, I mean, these guys coming up, now Vanderbilt, I'm not sure about Vanderbilt. I don't know whether he was a self-made or he had money or whatever it is. But he was, at one time, he was the richest man in the United States. Well, while all of that was sorting out, they set up the banking system. They saw an opportunity to supply something that we needed. Railroads, they got oil industry, oil, okay. Figured out some way to make steel better. I mean, that's what they were doing. And that's how they climbed the ladder. They are the controllers. Okay. Now, over time, yeah, the power structure's changed a little bit. I mean, because now you got tech people like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, and okay. But here's what we have to keep in mind. And crypto. I mean, crypto's a new technology, and it's made a lot of people a lot of money, but it's also not what it was meant to be. Okay. So, old money has come from starting at the ground level. and building their empire on something tangible. On something tangible. Okay? You know, we are in a tech age, and computers are doing what they're doing. They're talking about quantum computers and all this other stuff. All it would take is the power grid going out, and we are out of digital money. If there's no power, there's no money. So, the digital age, digital currency age, is in its infancy. Yes, we use credit cards and we do this and we do that and we do a lot of stuff on our phone or whatever. But it's really in its infancy. Really. Okay? So, I keep that in mind, and I'm not going to be around here long enough to see it. So, but I would be like to be around long enough to see what I'm going to see. What I think. Anyway. Okay. So, everything that we know today, and the system that we use today, the money that we use today, we have no choice. The government is putting it out, and that's the only money or choice of money that we have. We don't have any other choices. And people that have tried to bring choice about or give us another choice is either sit in prison or is dead. Yeah. That's how much they protect the system. It's the only system we have that we can use. Okay? Now, we get down in a different place or whatever, yeah. We'll come up with some stuff. But as a whole, as a society as a whole, we have no choice in what we can use. And we're in an age now that pretty much barter system, the bartering and all that, I'm sure there are places in the world that still do it. There are places, but they're not first world countries or second world countries. They're probably third and fourth world developing countries, because that's how they have to survive. So we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to this system, and it's the only way. It's the only way it can be. It's the only way it can be. It's the only thing it can do. It's the only way we can do it. Yes, right now, yes. I will 100% guarantee. Yes, I'm with you on that. But see, when digital currency, cryptocurrency was born, we could have had a choice. Oh, we do. We have a choice. We can use Bitcoin. We can. Bitcoin got forced into the system that it's in today. It got, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter, because that's what happened. Okay? Because today, Bitcoin, there are places that will accept it up here above ground in the light of day. There are some places that will accept it, but they're not many. Yeah, you can buy it at a kiosk and you can do this, but you're buying Satoshi. You're buying Satoshi, man. Who can afford? Well, I don't know. The price is coming down. Some more people can probably afford it now. But when it's up that high, who can afford to buy a full single Bitcoin? Not very many people. Okay? Because that's what it's become. Because when Bitcoin first launched in 2009, nobody knew what to do with it. They didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know. It was new. It was new, and yes, and they were given ungodly amounts. What did you get? He gave like $10,000 for two. I think the pieces came to like $24 for both of them, and he gave like $10,000 or whatever it was. And everybody was laughing at him because he spent that much or whatever it is. Okay. He was doing what Bitcoin was supposed to have meant to do, to be used as a means of exchange to buy goods and services. And what happened with Bitcoin, when people got in and started messing with what was written, that's when Bitcoin changed. Yeah. And I know a lot of people have made a lot of money. There's a big industry that's come up about it. It reaches around the world, whatever it is. Kudos. Make the money. Get it. Chase it. Get it. Do it. Do what you got to do to do it. Get it. Okay? Because all you're doing is chase. I was listening to a guy, a crypto trader. I think he has a morning. He has a program every day, or he comes on every day, and gives his advice and all this other stuff. And his first line, the first sentence out of this, was, "This platform is not for trading fake currency. It's only crypto." How about that? Then about second or third sentence down the road, he's trading crypto for fake currency. Yes, there are some. He's doing some crypto. He's doing some crypto to crypto stuff. But his main goal, on his in trading and investing, is to get fake currency. What? Okay. That is what crypto has become. Just like a stock, actually, but at least a stock you have company. It's from a company. Crypto is coming off the computer, ones and zeros. Yes, the blockchain is doing it. It's a distributed ledger, and that is revolutionary. But see, blockchain doesn't need crypto. Blockchain will run without crypto, depending on what you're looking to do. You can run blockchain without a cryptocurrency. Yeah. Okay. So, crypto needs blockchain, and blockchain is revolutionary technology. As a whole, we haven't. I don't think we've really tapped what the power of blockchain can actually do. I think because it's in its infancy. Okay. But because we are people, and we do what we do. And what people do is something new comes out, we break it, fix it, do whatever, improve it, okay, and it evolves into something else. I mean, what it is today is what it's going to be tomorrow, because we're going to get in and improve it, and make it do better things, and make it do stuff, to improve it so it's more user friendly, more whatever. And that's what happened to Bitcoin early, because I think it was between 2009 and 2012, 2013. 2012 or 13 is when the price started to come up. Up until that time, it just kind of stagnated right there. And because it was stagnating, and you had all these coins and couldn't make any money off of it. I know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about Bitcoin. Okay. But you learned to do the same thing the federal government does. When the money was flowing, when they were dealing with inflation and deflation on a regular cycle, the federal government has learned how to control the mass in motion. Mass, whatever. It's not so much now because we're running more on inflation bubbles and whatever, but back in whenever, we had inflation and deflation cycles. And when we were going whatever direction we were going, they have markers and whatever it is. Well, to curve that curve, somebody from inside would leak something to some trader somewhere, and he would put all his clients into the direction that the feds wanted him to go, and they slow that curve down. And when it started coming the other way, they leak out to these. It doesn't take much in a small roll. It doesn't take much. You turn one or two of the guys or gals and you just kind of leak a little. Hey, that's kind of good. And they would transfer the assets from one place to another to protect their investment, or whatever, and it would curb inflation and deflation. Well, it's gotten so far out of hand now because of the crooked stuff our government is doing. Okay? When you look at, we're pie, man. I'm talking pie. And I hear people coming in like, pie's a pyramid, pie's a Ponzi, pie's a whatever, pie's fake, pie's just pie. Okay. You really need to learn what a Ponzi scheme is, what a pyramid scheme is, what multi-level marketing is. Because if you knew it, you wouldn't be saying it in pie. and you would be saying it about the government. Because a multi-level marketing, you can see the flowchart on it. I mean, you can see how you have your up and down lines. And like, all right, I'm at the top. I invite 2 people. They invite 2 people each, and they invite 2 people each. And as each tier goes down, you need more and more. The lower the tiers go down, you need that expansion to cover the investment from above. So if somebody wanted to cash out above, you need them down here to cover that investment. Well, a Ponzi scheme, and it'll get to a point that it can't do anything but collapse on itself, because you can't get any more. You can't get any more on the bottom tier to cover the upper tiers. And what happens is the upper tiers, probably the first and second tier, they're the ones that run off with all the money, and everybody below that, it's gone. Yeah, I can remember being invited to people's houses to get into multi-level marketing. Yeah. And the hype and all the stuff around it is all okay. But when you start putting out papers, no, that's the whole time. Okay. Well, if you look at the government over the years, they have to keep printing more and more money to cover the debt from last year. That's a Ponzi scheme. When you have to create more this year to cover last year, you're in a pyramid and you're in a Ponzi, and it's getting close. I mean, if you look at the value of the dollar is deflated. It's up way under it, way under. And I can. Back when I was growing up, I remember a gallon of gasoline, 25 cents. Cigarettes, 25 cents. Okay. Over time, because they're printing more, they're doing more, and whatever it is, and I mean, there's a lot into it. You got gross domestic product and world, yeah, and all of that trading that's going on overseas, and it all plays into it. But if you bring it home, right here, just right here, okay, the economy is here, and I make where I live in a town that has, I think it's 15 or 20,000 people. I mean, it's a small town, it's whatever. But economy is the town. When we go spend money someplace, hamburger place or Big Lots or grocery store or auto store or whatever, that's what drives the economy. That is the economy for this town. Okay? So you have to think about that when we're thinking about pie and value. Okay? Yes, out here the dollar is controlled by debt, whatever, and credit and all that. It's a pretty complicated system on how it all generates, but what it comes down to is it's a system that we have to keep borrowing to keep that Ponzi scheme going, because it's all built on credit. Everything from the U.S. that does anything is all built on credit. That's the way they create the money. They create debt. Creating debt creates money. We have to pick up that debt. Okay? So it keeps getting big. And what's happening, by us accruing more debt, I mean, I don't know how many people, at least I can't talk for the world, I'm going to talk for the U.S. I don't know of anybody, too many, that I know, that don't have some kind of debt, big debt. Whether it's a house, a car, credit cards, whatever. Their life runs around debt. I'm going to say their life because I don't. I live on a cash system. Okay? So, if that when we pick up that debt, we're giving the up 1%, that interest. So, they've created, and it's the only system we can use. It's the only system we have. Okay? So, and I know it went a little deeper or whatever it is, but you have to, because I don't think people understand what the system is or how the system operates or what they're living in or whether they care what they're living in or using, because it just is. And it always has been. Well, not really always has been. Only it is a few hundred years. Yeah, it's a long time, 400 or 500 years. Yeah, we've been around a few thousand years. Okay. it's been around relatively short time. Okay? And they've gotten rich off of it. Yeah. The old money is still old money. New money has come in with new technology. I mean, as soon as the electronics era came about and figured out how to shrink the microchips and all that other stuff, yeah, that's the new industry. But they made it off of there was a need in society or in whatever, and they fulfilled that need. Yeah, they came up with the dude that came up with the microchip and shrunk it down whatever. He's a multi-billionaire. I mean, he's one of the richest men in the world. Okay. Same with Gates. He came up with. I mean, he was in computer and software and whatever it was, and he built it off of something tangible. That's now see. Go round and round with people too. Rich, and from what Bitcoin has done, has put a false impression on the rest of the space. Because Bitcoin, because of the way it trades and the volatility that it has, that's how they're making money. You're making money. You know that. And it needs that kind of volatility. It needs that kind of swing to get those kind of returns that people are looking for. Okay? The stock market is, yes, you have swings and, they get, but they're nowhere near what the crypto exchange is. So, the stock exchange is kind of steady as you go. Crypto, yeah, you can make and lose within a couple hours, a day, whatever. Okay, and it was at the end of last year, beginning of this year. Bitcoin was $6,000. That was the lowest it went till it got into its next cycle. And when it got into its next cycle, it went up to $60,000 in probably about 3 months, I think, 3 or 4 months. And within 4 to 6 weeks, it's back down to $29,000. I don't know where it is. I'm just going from what a price that I saw somewhere was like $29,000 in about 30 days. Okay, and I'm hearing, and I'm Bitcoin's stable. Bitcoin's stable. It's this, it's that, it's whatever. Okay, fine, that's cool. Yeah, you buy it and you believe it, you whatever it is. But all the cryptos out here, or most of the cryptos out here, have done the same thing, because the people that are, and if you can't tell me that isn't being influenced, that I'm not buying it. Okay? When a whale in any of these programs, crypto, they know who the whales are. Okay. It's a protocol. It's a digital protocol. The protocol knows where every coin is that's been produced from that protocol. It knows exactly where it's at. It knows exactly where those coins are at. It knows exactly who has them. Yeah. But we're saying, you're only identified by your username. So, yes, there's a certain amount of anonymity. But they know where the wallet is, they know what's in the wallet, and they know your username, who has that wallet. Okay? It's digital. It has to keep track of it. It's digital. It's on the blockchain. It's got, so, when I hear a bunch of garbage about this and that, whatever, give it a rest. Because Pi does have, and Core is concerned about our privacy. Yeah. It is whether you believe it or not, it is one of their number one top priorities, is making sure our privacy is protected, that our data is protected. I've heard for 2 years. I mean, I've watched and heard Core get slammed for stuff they shouldn't get slammed. If you would investigate and research what you're getting involved in, if you would go through the privacy policy instead of just tagging it and say you read it, read it. And you get an idea that they really do want to protect our privacy. Okay? So, I know I'm going off on another deal. Okay. So, how does money work today? How does it work? Well, it's not backed by gold, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's backed by something. No. That's why it's called fake. It's not backed by anything. Gold, because we are the reserve currency. We had our dollar pegged to gold. And in 71, we had more paper out than we had gold in the vault. That's why the dollar got cut from gold, because France, some other country, they sent their big ships over to New York Harbor demanding their gold for the paper they had. Yeah. And we don't have enough gold to cover all the paper in the world. So they cut the gold from the dollar. And as soon as they cut the gold from the dollar, you talk about some spoiled kids in a candy shop, that's what we did. Yeah, that's what we did. For greed, power, all of the that's why it's happening. Because of greed, power, whatever, to be on top, to have the most, to do what, yeah, that's why it's happening. I mean, the bottom line is, it's greed, it's selfishness, somebody has to have it all. I mean, it's, and the mentality of that, it's an all or nothing. So if you're thinking that they're caring about us, no, the only reason they care about us is to get them more money. Okay, that's the system we're in. And over the 2 years I've been in Pi, that's a system everybody's, even somebody that has nothing, is chasing that same system. Yeah. Okay, so now, we've lost the buying power in the dollar, but the dollar is still what we use, and everybody still wants it around the world, even though it isn't worth anything. Yeah. I mean, if you can buy a gallon of gas for 25 cents, and a gallon of gas today, where I live at, is $5. That's losing some buying power, people. And it's across the board. And we're losing it every day. I mean, I go into the grocery store, whatever it is. Yeah, groceries go up by 50 cents, $1 or whatever. I mean, it wasn't too long ago I could take a $25 or $50 bill into the grocery store and get my groceries for the week. I was in the grocery store the other night. It cost me $125 and I got one bag of groceries or 2 bags of, yeah. We've lost buying power. Buying power is value. And on the exchanges, whether it's stock exchange, crypto exchange, is price. Price is not value. Okay. So there's two. The main economy is the movement of goods and services for the form of payment that we're using. Okay. And that's value, and that's the economy. Trading price on the exchanges is part of that economy. It's part of the overall movement of that economy. But I was listening to one of them. I forget what it was. But the volume of trading on the whole exchange was like 7%, I believe, of the overall economy. Okay. What I see happening from crypto, all they see is the exchange and the trading on the exchange, and that is the economy. That is whatever for that coin. No, it's trading volume. Yes, because that's the only life it has. That's the only place it has. Yeah, you can call that economy, but because it's not being used, you can't buy anything with it. The only thing you can do with it is trade it on the exchange, and that it's a tradable asset. Because you're taking whatever it is, taking it to exchange, and trading it for another currency. Okay. And that is not the economy. That is not where we want to go in Pi. The other currency, other cryptos, that's what they do. That's what they, okay. And I mean, we're getting closer to phase 3. We are. Pi is getting closer to launching. But the mindset and the mentality of Pi is, and I have an idea who's driving it, but, okay, people coming in today are probably new to crypto, and they're new to Pi, and they're lip servicing what they can see, what they can find, what they're being told by people who are in the space. Okay. And so people are coming in to Pi with unreal expectations. Pi will never be Bitcoin. Pi will never reach a Bitcoin price. Pi will never swing like Bitcoin does. Never. It's not designed that way. And the amount of coin, the amount of Pi that will be generated is too big. It's too big. And it's meant to be that way. It's meant, Pi is looking to be the currency, the money, used to trade for goods and services around the world by as many that can use it. Well, to be reachable, then that value, the price, has to be low enough to be able to be reachable by everybody. Now, being from a third world or first world country, and I'm not trying to say this to be uppity or whatever, because I am no better than anybody else. I'm not. But at times, because I live the way I do, I don't even think about developing countries and what they're going through. Okay, Pi has opened my eyes up a lot. Okay, things that I don't think about. I just go get it. Makes their year or what? Okay, so keeping that in mind, Pi as a currency has to be there's an exchange price and a buying power value. And if we get to a point, or should get to a point, to where buying power, value, and price are the same, then you have true value in what you have. Because it doesn't matter whether you take it to a store here and you buy something you need, or you take it to the exchange and buy something, trade it and get what you want from the exchange. Now, Pi is not looking to replace anything. Pi is looking to be a choice in the system that we're in. Okay. So, to think it's going to come in and make you whoever was in Bitcoin or whatever, it's an unreal expectation. Can it happen? Will it happen? Yes, probably. But that is also not Pi's designed to make somebody wealthy. No. Will it? Yes. Will it make people wealthy? Yes. Yes, I guarantee it. If Pi develops the way it should, yes, there will be wealthy people in Pi. Okay. And see, it's hard to get around, because getting Pi value started goes against everything that we've ever learned, everything we've ever been taught. Okay. Because we right now are at the precipice. We are standing at the same point that old money did in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. It's just a different time, and it's a different means. I mean, back in I think it was like the 1670s or early 1700s, the world reserve currency was the Spanish pieces of 8. That was the trading. That was the money being used around the world by everybody. Was the Spanish pieces of 8. Well, we don't use that no more. And then it came up, and I don't know when paper came up. I mean, I know we had paper in the Confederate War and all, but it switched from the Spanish pieces of 8 to pound sterling from England. Everything was, all the money being used was against pound sterling. Okay. So it's changed over time. Now everything is off the U.S. dollar. Everything is pegged to the U.S. dollar. But see, we don't look at what we've lost or what we've given up or what we've given away or what. Okay. Because buying power in the 60s is different than buying power today. Pi is, we are standing at the same place that these guys were when they built their fortunes. Money was money. They're doing whatever. All right. We don't have to think about what is going to support Pi's value. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to figure it. We don't have to figure out where it's coming from, what's doing, what it's done. Core has already done that. In their building Pi, they've already taken all of that into account. They already know. They know the best way to give Pi a solid foundation to build value off of. Blockchain. Okay. Kind of the way I look at it is, the blockchain is the foundation. That is the foundation of Pi as a currency. Just having a decentralized blockchain running, and if it's running fast enough to keep up with what's going on, that creates automatic value. May not be much, but it starts creating value for Pi. Okay. You can't think about the exchange. You can't think about what it needs to do on the exchange. It will get there, but we have to get here first. So, say we picked up a little bit of value from just the blockchain running. Well, to truly get a usable value for Pi that everybody inside the community can use. So it's not thinking about how big a stack I have, or how big an earning team I have, and how much I get, and how much I'm getting, and whatever. Okay, because you're converting your stack of Pi from the exchange to get other currency. Okay, you got to remember, every time we trade on it, I know you can find them that you join up with this one and you can trade free and all this other stuff. Before I get into any of those, I'm going to research them and see what's going on, because I don't trust anything that you're going to give me for free. There ain't nothing in this world for free. I know we would all like free transactions, and we would like all this free stuff, and we would, okay. If an exchange isn't regulated, if it isn't overseen, then if I don't have to provide KYC to that exchange, I probably won't trade on it. No, because those guys can skip, and we're out of luck. No, that's my own personal. It's my own personal. Okay, so we got a little bit of value going on in Pi. Pi is the means of exchange inside the community. Well, if it only has a little bit of value, not everybody in Pi can use it. Well, then the value is too low, because everybody inside of Pi has to be able to use one Pi day one to buy something. Now I know we got 18 million people in Pi Hub, and with few places that I know, there's nowhere near enough places to supply 18 million people. Okay, and see, I think that's where we dropped the ball, earning the Pi that we're accumulating, because we should have already had this economy. It should have been going, and then where we're starting now, if that would have started a year ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't, because the economy would already be going, and because it would have gotten going back then, there was no way that it could list on the exchange. There was no way that it could trade on the exchange. Back then, the only place we could do it is in the community. So the exchange, when Pi economy should have gotten going, and it has. I mean, there's pilots moving pilots, but when it should have gotten going, exchange shouldn't have been even a thought, because we can't get to it. So thinking what the exchange is going to do was okay. Now, if all you can focus on is what is the community and what's going on, and at the time the in-app transfer started, there was I'm going to say, about 200,000 people. Okay, and we're at over 18 million now. That wasn't a lot of people compared to there, but if people in the community would have stuck with the way things are designed, and there are very few that have, from then to now. As soon as somebody tried to sell Pi for cash, turn it into a gift card or whatever, they're the ones that screwed it for the rest of us. Yeah. And anybody Core can't take that chance of somebody doing something stupid like that again. Because there is no Pi. Yes, we are earning Pi off of an emulator. It's being tracked on a server in a ledger that Core team is protecting, keeping safe, and keeping track. Yes, it is there. It's on the ledger. But as far as having, this putting on a wall to be able to sell for cash. If anybody sells pie for cash or gift cards, anything that is a means of can be considered cash. It doesn't matter what it is. Gift cards, phone cards, whatever. Anything that can be redeemed for cash is cash. Anything happens like that in pie, one, if a sale does happen or whatever, you're out. You will be out. Your account will be froze. You'll be gone. Your pie will be gone, and good luck. Go find some of those projects. That is a given. Core's already put that out. If any sale, if any sale of pie happens for cash, you're gone. Because what you did, if you trying to sell or you selling your pie for cash, and you better be careful. There's a lot of futures markets, at least 2 or 3 that I'm hearing from around at different places around the world. If you're trading in pie futures and you are sending currency to somebody that is going to send you pie when they get the in-app transfer, we've been talking about scams the whole time. Whatever direction, whoever's sending the money whoever they're sending the money to just scammed you. That makes pie a fraud. Because whoever you sent money to has nothing to send back to you. Even if they put it on a promissory note or however that, you can't sell something you don't have. And because Core is keeping track of it in their ledger on their book, it's not ours. I can't borrow against it. You can't, because they still own it. It's theirs until they give it to us. So be careful what you're doing right now, because you're not understanding where we're at. We are in phase 2. Phase 2 of a 3-phase project of 2 stages. Everything in stage 1 will most likely change when we go to phase 3 and get into that second stage of okay. That's when pie becomes real. That's when it becomes ours, and that's when we can use it to do whatever. Okay. So getting to, we blew it with the in-app transfer. We blew it. That is on the community at the time and the community now. Because with hearing the amount of people coming in going, what's pie's price, what's its value, when's it going to go to the exchange, when is it going to go? Okay, those are all questions that don't need to be asked right now. They are irrelevant and unimportant. I get into some debate. I get into debates with people over some stuff, and sometimes it's, man, what are you doing? Well, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But it keeps me honest. It makes me make sure I know what I've read and what I said and whatever. And it's all in the white paper, man. It's all in the white paper. So, getting the economy started was our job. Is our job. Well, and I know I'm off on it because there's nothing we can do about past. But if we don't learn from the past, we can't have it right in the future. Okay? And back then it was 200,000 people. It would have been an easy transition as people were coming in, figuring out if they have something to offer to sell for pie, or are they going to be selling, or what are they going to be doing? Okay, because where pie value will come from will be the people selling goods. Services will help, because services, they have the flexibility. I know everybody wants to make money and do all this stuff. We're not there yet. We're not there. But the ones providing service can adjust the value that they'll accept for their service. Okay. If where we're at right now, if somebody isn't willing to risk and accept a value. Pie will never have a value, because that's what pie is meant to buy goods and services. So there are a lot of people that I know that are selling goods for pie through the in-app transfer, okay, that have the high enough value that pie can be used by everybody. There's other economies that don't. I mean, I would say, from what I know, where they have where pie is valued at their economy is bottom line. I mean, that's borderline, and that's squeaking borderline, okay, because everybody has to be able to use one pie the day they get here. When you sign up, you get one pie in your wallet. They have to be able to use their pie somewhere and not wipe them out. And if pie is valued so low, okay, just come into the economy and you're going to buy something for $30. You want to buy something for $30 or $40, and your one pie is only valued at $1. I mean $10 or $1. What I'm going to say minimum is 10. Minimum is 10. Well, you still have to save up X amount of days before you have $40 worth of buying power. That makes pie worthless. Because that one person with one pie could be hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah. As pie community grows, the people coming in now will be mining at a lower rate, so they won't be getting the amount of pie per day that we did back at the other levels. Now, we will be getting the same amount of pie they are per day, but we started at the other level, and we had the opportunity to mine at the higher rate. We earned our bonus for being here. What we're stacking up, yes, it's part of the total supply, but it's our bonus for being early. The earlier you were, the earlier you were, the bigger bonus you have. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because at 1,000 people, there wasn't. When I got here, I think there was 80,000 people, maybe 75. There were 75 or 80,000 people, and there wasn't nothing. I mean, there was a handful of chat rooms. I think that was about it when I joined Pie. Okay. There was no browser. There was no this. There was no that. What Pie has now is leaps ahead of where it was. And when I got here at 80,000, when we came in, we would crash the chat. Within 30 minutes, and I'm telling you, when I came in the room, within 30 minutes, we crashed the app. Not just crash the server, we crashed the app. Well, it doesn't do that anymore. Yeah, it's got a little glitches here and there with it, but it doesn't totally shut down. I mean, we shut the server down, okay? So, when people come in and say, well, Pi's not moving, Pi's not doing, Pi's not doing, you need to do your research or talk to people that have been here for a while, okay, if you can find them. And they'll give you, there's a lot of history that people don't understand what's going on. So when they come in and say, hey, Pi's not moving, no, it is. Pi has grown a lot in a short time, okay? All of these things that are being put in place now add to Pi value. That's the foundation of Pi value, okay? So, we got to get Pi value. We don't even think about outside. Whatever you've learned, leave that at the door. Because coming into Pi, it has nothing to do with anything outside of Pi. It's only inside of Pi. We are in control of what Pi starting value will be. And if you see it and study it and understand it, okay, because I know right now when I say Pi is worth $100 trading value, everybody's eyes lights up because the first thing they think of is selling it. You can't. There's no place it's to be used. Okay? Then you get the ones, no, it's too high. It's not. It's too high. It's too high. Okay. You have to think about the person coming in. That last group of people coming in, 100,000 people, 200,000 people coming in at $100 a pie. They can use that one pie and get what they need. Okay, and I know for a fact that that people can buy a 5-gallon bucket of rice. I think it's for $20. At $10 a pie, they can't buy that bucket of rice, and they need that bucket of rice. That's why I'm not looking at us. Okay, somebody in a third world country that's looking to feed their family, because that's what everybody talks about. As soon as they get the opportunity to sell their pie, they're going to sell it because a dollar goes a long way. Well, if a dollar goes a long way, $20 goes even farther. That's how we have to. They are the ones setting the value. The pie. They have to be able to use the pie. Okay, so and when this economy came up with the $100, it wasn't just grabbing. No, they don't grab numbers out of the air. They just don't grab numbers out of the air. Okay. They sat down and they figured. They did what I just told you. Okay, they sat down and they figured out, and they originally started at 10, and it didn't take them long to realize that as pie keeps getting bigger, the foundation is getting wider. There's more people with less pie, but they control the majority of the pie. Does that make sense? Okay. Earlier pioneers that were here, yes, we got to mine more. We got to mine at a higher rate, so we have a stack of pie. Okay? And as each halving has happened, the community has grown. Our stacks haven't grown as much, but they're still growing. The next level, they're growing. They got a stack, but it's not as high as what it was, like say when we came in. Okay? And as we go down to another level, we're earning the same. We're all earning at the same level. So my stack isn't growing much faster. Okay. But as the community spreads out, there's a lot more pioneers earning. They're just earning less. So they start to control the amount of pie. Yeah, if you break it down in percentage, it's like 2% here, 3% here, 4%. And then you get down to the bottom, they have 70 or 80% of the pie. But it's not one person. It's spread out over millions of people. They hold pie. They have less pie, but they hold it. So if that plays into, if a whale decided to take a swim, this is offsetting him. It won't be front page news when a whale goes to take a swim because it's not going to affect anything. Okay? So, and we have to come together as a community to make this happen. Okay? And I don't want to. I really don't want. I want because there's free market, there's free thinking, there's free whatever. Okay. And so I don't want to push too bad, but seriously think when you're thinking about because by now everything that you were thinking about, supply, demand, this and that and that, should be tabled somewhere. That shouldn't be in your mind. What should be in your mind is how much pie these guys have and how much they got coming in, and what can they buy with it. What can I buy with my pie? What can you buy with yours? And see, I think what some people don't also take into account, all right, we set pie value low, $5, whatever, 50 cents. If pie starts at 50 cents, we'll kill it. We will kill pie at 50 cents, at 25 cents. Nobody can use pie at that low of a price or value. You can't buy anything with it. If you can't buy anything with it, you can't use it. If you're not going to use it, it's no good. That's the bottom line. If they can't use their pie, it's no good. And if their pie is no good, then the rest of the pie is no good. Okay. So when we come together, we have to come together on what pie value is. Now, yeah, we can throw out $1,000, $10,000, whatever. We can throw out whatever price we want. I mean, whatever, at that point it's price. We can throw out whatever price we want. But we got to be realistic, man. Because if you're thinking just about getting wealthy or rich or whatever, you're thinking in the wrong lines. You're going down the wrong hole, man. You're going down the wrong rabbit hole. Because people that are trading crypto now are turning it into another currency, and they're counting their wealth is dependent on the currency they're turning it into. To me, it's wealth, but it's not stable, solid wealth. It could, if trust, belief, and whatever goes out of whatever they have their wealth built up in, it's gone. It has no value. If it has no value, then it's not worth anything. Okay, that's what I say. Now think about the old money. Okay, they invested in tangible. That's why they still have the wealth that they have, because that's the system that okay. So it's part of it. So sit down and figure out. Yes, this is what we can. This is what we can. Everybody. Yeah, you can buy it, and you got a little extra of it, whatever. We're getting a little bit extra. So, by getting pie every day, we're able to refill, or not refill, but we're getting pie every day we still have a stack of pie to use to buy. Now, I say wants and needs. It should be needs, and when needs are met, then there's wants. But it should both of them should happen. So we've come up with a price, and we got it. Yeah, it sounds good. Don't get greedy. I mean, you can't get greedy. Greed and power play and selfishness and all that has to go. Has to go if pie wants any chance. Because, I mean, I know it's part of human nature, it's part of whatever. But if we all have our own stacks of pie, and we are all getting our own pie, and we can all use our own pie, I don't have to steal yours. You don't have to steal mine. We don't have to, okay? It's a whole... When you're having your basic needs met, daily, whatever, and you're not worried about whether you're going to get water, or food, or blanket, or whatever we need for that day, when you don't have to worry about supplying your needs, yeah, your thinking changes. Okay. So, we got to stay realistic. I mean, we got to keep things in check. Now, I'm just talking about starting the economy. I agree with a lot of the people that there has to be, it has to be free market, it has to be this and that. Okay. Starting out, it doesn't. Starting out is us. Okay. Because, I'll tell you why. We keep this real, we keep it to where everybody can use it. Because we have to get through another step. We have to get through the people that are supplying goods. Now, if we come out with some of them, yeah, we're gonna make pie $1,000. They're doing business over here that's supplying goods. There's no way, man. I mean, I'm stretching it at whatever it is. There's no way that using pie at $1,000 per pie buying power, that he will ever be able to recover his. Okay, because there is no way that we can command $1,000 a pie on the exchange. Exchanges are going to come back into play, and they're going to come back into play and solidifying that value. Okay? That's why this one has it at $100, because it's reasonable. Everybody can use it. Gives pie value, buying power value. And the people that are supplying the goods are accepting it at $100. That's how pie value will be set. And it should be set to start with. Because if they're accepting and we're spending and they're getting pie and they're being able to spend what they're getting to get what they need, okay. An economy is strong by the amount that it moves. Economy is strong by the number of times when I go and I pay with a pie. That one pie, the more times it changes hands, the stronger that economy gets. So, and I think when some in the U.S., like the U.S. dollar or something like that, it changes hands like 5 to 7 times is what, when you get it in the figures, that's about how much it changes hands. Okay. So, that's what you start when I can take it. When I can get a pie, I sell you something, I get a pie from you. And I can take that same pie and I can go to another store and I can get the same value for that, what I got from you, through here. And I get well, then he has to be able to take it somewhere else and get the same value for something he needs. That builds trust. That's where the trust comes at in a currency. Is that I can use it here at the same value, over there the same value. Next week I can take it over there and go to the same value. 6 weeks from now I can go overseas and get the same value. That's where the trust comes in. That's where usability comes in. And the bigger the supply gets, the more it's moving around, the more we're using it, the more stable it becomes. So no matter what a whale does, it's going to change the buying power value. That's value. When you can take it, okay, we're in 236 countries around the world. 19 million people. 236 countries around the world, 19 million people. Now granted, it's pie. We can't take it and exchange it and get an airplane ticket to go somewhere yet. Not yet. Not yet. It will happen. There's not a doubt in my mind that it won't happen. It just may not be today. Because we're just getting off the ground. And it has to start inside. When it's moving inside, and when people can see it moving from outside, inside can see it moving, okay, then demand starts to be created. Then when the demand starts to be created, that's when that becomes solid. Okay? And this is where, I hear people, we want investors. No, we don't. Yes, we want investors. We don't want investors in here. There's no way for anybody to invest in here. The only way somebody can invest is from the outside. Okay? There's no way to. Investors are trying to create concentrations of wealth in whatever they are, so they can control whatever it is. That's okay. Well, we don't want. Pie is ours. Court has written pie for us. And if we're comfortable and they're accepting and they can use, because money and wealth and whatever can come in many different forms. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Pie is not looking to replace something that's already out there. I mean, if you have a job and you're earning dollar bills, you can't. Don't quit your job yet. Okay? Don't quit your job yet. Okay? Because, and if you're like new to pie and you're only getting a few pie, definitely don't quit your job. And if you need, go get another job. But what pie does, by us having pie coming in every day, okay, even if it's a little bit, and the value is realistic, real, and it's usable by everybody. Okay? If I'm using my pie, I don't have to get or fight to get that top job. I can get a job that I like, whatever it is. Teaching guitar or piano lessons or what. I can do whatever I want. All I need is a little cash coming. So they supplement each other. That's how pie will survive the world. Because if you look at, stretch out over 236 countries, pie can trade, borderless, seamless, with no middleman, no nothing. That's the power of crypto. That's what crypto is meant. And, I'm not a lawyer, but I hear this one wants banned, that one wants banned, this one wants banned, this one, okay? Pi is a mobile mining app. And I don't use for whatever. It's a mobile mining app. Okay? I got my own personal deal on this. It's a mobile mining app that uses no power. Because of the mechanism, the core is written into Pi. So when we're active for that day and we're contributing, we get X amount of Pi a day. So we have an income of Pi for life. An income of Pi for life. Okay? Well, if I have an income of Pi for life, and Granted, I can't trade it to turn it into something else, but I have it inside. And I have a job. I make I make a few bucks. Handyman, I make a few bucks on the inside. But I can get the majority of what I need inside the community, and using my pie to do it. To me, I've made money. Yeah, it may not be the big dollar signs that everybody wants, but I made money. Yeah. When I don't have to reach in my pocket and take dollar bills or whatever currency I'm using or whatever, if I don't have to reach in my pocket and take dollar bills out of my pocket, and I spent what I have here to get what I need, I made money. Yeah, I made it different than what most people are thinking, but I made money, man, because I didn't have to dig in my pocket and take money out of my pocket. That means what's building up in my pocket gets bigger, and I didn't have to go to an exchange or trade it to give somebody. All the exchanges are doing is becoming a middleman, because they're going to. There is no way. Exchanges are in it to make money. And if somebody says you can make transactions, there's hidden thieves or something. There's got to be thieves or somewhere, because they're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Not an exchange. Okay? But if I don't have to trade on the exchange, then I'm not giving somebody else my money. My dollars are building up here, and I still have it, and I still have it over here, but I can get what I want to get. And as more sellers see that it's happening, and is using it, okay, then we will start to get more sellers. More sellers will trust what we got going on, because that's all the dollar is right now. We trust it. We trust the government that they're going to cover that debt, and the person accepting it is accepting that the government is going to cover that debt, and he can take it to his and he's like, okay, that's trust, man. We don't need the government to trust it. Why do we need the government to tell us that we shouldn't trust that? Okay. Because now if you look at, we have blockchain, we have the community, we're using it, and we're using it daily, strong. Okay? And because crypto is a cash system. Okay? The more we can keep it a cash system, the less we have to worry about inflation, deflation, and all that other stuff. And Core has already thought about, because as the community grows, you have to interject a little bit of new currency to minimize inflation, deflation, and expand with the community. And as the community expands, businesses come in that are accepting by. The economy gets stronger. That's how value is built and set in Pi to begin with. So, and if all of this is happening and people are seeing this happening, investors are going to want it. That is a product. That is a product. And by that time, because I don't see Pi looking like WeChat or Alibaba or other places that are using digital currency in their daily lives. I don't see it in Pi. I mean, you open up the browser, there ain't shit there, man. You open up the app, there ain't shit here. There is nothing, and I hear people, well, I'm tired of buying, I'm tired of this, I'm going to quit, I'm going to do whatever. Well, yeah. Why are people doing that? Well, because they don't believe in Pi, they don't believe in Pi. No, yeah, I mean, that's surface. They leave because there's nothing for them to do. That's why people leave. Yeah, you come into Pi app, and you come into a chat room. You're not gonna, unless you're a glutton for punishment, or okay, you're not gonna stay in a Pi chat real long. Not with all the garbage. There's nothing to keep anybody. There's nothing here to keep them. So, I'm sure in the dApps that are being designed, talks about design or whatever it is, that is what keeps. Those should keep people. Because if people want to come to the app and want to use the app, want to be a part of the app, now you got two organically demands going on. To be a part of the community, you have to join the community. So you have to use an invite to get in to join the community. And here is where I could be off a little bit, but I'm okay. But it's going to take a community to make it happen, because people still don't realize or understand or believe all of this that I discussed right here. There is no pie on the exchange. There is no pie on the exchange for the exchange to do anything. They can't speculate on something they don't have. There is no. We once pie becomes ours, we are the only holders of pie. And if we have the economy going and we have established a value, a tradable value for goods and services in our community, okay, we will get out of it. But right now it's got to be inside. And we've established it, and we've trusted, and we're using it, and we're trusting each other to use it. And okay, we don't need somebody to tell us that yes, it's okay to use. No, that's not. When you're being told that that's what you can use, or that you can't use, or that you can't, okay, that's them taking power away from us, taking control away from us. And what crypto was designed to do, meant to do, when it first came out, when it was first born, was to break away from that system, to give that community the opportunity to get away from that system. They didn't see it. No, because they're conditioned trained. Conditioned trained to take this, and what they did is they forced it into that system, and that's where it trades, and that's where it gets. They're trading it for something else to rich. Okay? We got our thing going on, and we're trading, and it's going and whatever. Okay, and you have big bank, big investors, Elon Musk, Gates, whatever. They're knocking on the door because they're seeing what's going on, and they want to be a piece of it. They want to be a part of it. They want a piece of it. We have not put. Core's not putting any coins out of any. Everything is in house until we choose to put it out. Well, if you have somebody like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or Warren Buffett or whoever has a name, and you have them knocking at your door to invest, because most people, when they have a new project, a new something coming out, they're going to their door and knocking on it to get money from them for their project. And usually, if they're investing in the project, they're looking for a return on investment. I know, I'm out there. I'm way out there. But you have people with money knocking on your door, wanting your product. You have the control and power over it. If we have an economy and we're using it, that's what it is. Unless we give it away. Don't give it away. Because every time we give something away, we lose something. And watching what the system is today and what it dictates to everybody today, we would give up so much real estate that we would never get it back. When there comes to that point that they're coming to us because they want our product on the exchange, we are in control and we are in power of our own destiny. We're not in whatever. But if we're trading at $100 or whatever it is, in exchange for it, yes, we will make a deal. We'll get you pie after. But you're going to list it for this. I know, it's a totally different way of thinking. It's totally, why? What we have done over what I've done over 60 years is I've had to take orders from somebody else. Somebody else is telling me what I'm supposed to do with this, or supposed to do with that, right? Okay? We have the opportunity. That is pie. And I'm not talking anything that isn't in the white paper. That can't be pulled out to see. Okay? Now, how it's going to travel and how it's going to get there, that I don't know. But I know what the power of crypto. I'm not even talking pie. I'm talking crypto. That is the power of crypto. That is what should have happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin could have brought Bitcoin could have brought some governments down. Bitcoin could have crashed the dollar if the community would have played it right. Pi's not looking to crash anything. It's not looking to, okay, it's looking to be a part of. It is. It really is. Because if you come in with something that is going to destroy what they have, yeah. But if you come in and just kind of, we have a choice. We have a choice now, and if that happens, there will be more places like Pi coming up, and more. And see, we have to get through this first to be able to get to the bigger, because I think this is me. If Pi can do what it's designed to do, what we can make it do, that is history. If you can turn the tables on and you can get the leverage over somebody else, that's history. That's history. Because now Pi isn't a part of that system. Pi is on its own. Pi is its own. Okay. Once it starts trading on the exchanges, yes, because now you're looking at what's in place today. You're looking at trading volume, how much is trading, all of that kind of stuff comes back into play when it's on the exchange. But see, you also have, if we held on to Pi and didn't let any Pi out on the exchange, we have control over total supply. Because I know everybody looks at total world supply, whatever it is. No, it's really not. That's why Pi supply doesn't really matter. Circulating supply doesn't matter. It needs to be big enough so it can reach as far as it can, and it can get into as many hands as it can, and it has to be low enough to be able to be reachable. But when you have a supply that big, it just stays stable. You can't move it. You can't move it. One whale can't move it. It would take, probably take like half the community all going in the same direction. Maybe. But when you start on exchanges, exchanges are on trading volume. How much is actually trading? That's how the prices are set. Is how much is actually trading. What are people willing to buy and sell for? That's what these guys are speculating. And most of it is all speculation. Okay. Well, like Bitcoin, 21 million ever, but it's in the protocol. So it's whatever's out. Yeah, because that's how it's gone. That's how it's gone. People wanted to trade it. As soon as you sell it, and everybody starts selling it, you don't keep track of what's going on. And see, if they wanted to get Bitcoin to $1 million, they could do it. They could do it. But I don't think they're together enough to make it happen. Because they're running on emotion. They need the swings to make the money right now. But if whoever has these wallets and didn't put any more out to trade, yeah, price will go up. But see, they're not in it to do that. They are in it to do what they're doing. And yeah, swings, it needs the swings to make money. Pi is not looking to be that. Pi is looking to be the money. The more stable it is, over time, the more use it gets, the more it gets seen, the farther out it, okay. There will come a point where whatever that circulating supply isn't big enough to keep reaching. Okay. I've said, I think Pi supply is too small. I really do. To keep it. If Pi wants to be a daily usable currency by everybody, the supply is too small. My opinion. Okay. Because as it grows, it stretches out. And if all of the Pi is inside the community, or as it stretches out, being used here, that's what controls supply on the exchanges. Because they're going about how much they can trade on the exchange. It's just like buying stock in a company. When a company issues stock, they only issue X amount of stock. And when they get their income or whatever it is, okay, but there's only a certain amount of stock on the exchange. That's it. They're not trading in the company. They're trading in stock in the company. If the company wants, if you look at halving on the stock exchange, the price gets up too high, they cut it in half. The owner of the company prints 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever it is, whatever split they did, and they put more stock on the market to bring that price down. If they want to bring that price up, whoever's holding, they get rid of all that. They get rid of that stuff, so it can't trade. The crypto exchange is no different. The only difference with the crypto exchange is either the coin is on the protocol and it isn't coming out until it created a block or whatever, or it's all pre-minted, but it's sitting in a trust somewhere doing whatever, and it only comes out as whoever has control does that. I mean, I remember when I first got here, Stellar, whoever, Jeb, I think Jeb McNair or something, I don't even know who the guy from Ripple is. Now, I've heard different stories and different things. I'm going to say they're not forced, but these two gentlemen worked together on Ripple project. And whatever happened, one dude came out and he started Stellar. Okay. I don't know, and I know too many people that are in the Stellar that I don't want to even open up the can of worms because it's not important. But I'm just letting you know, okay, that all of their coins have been, when they started the program, all the coins that will ever exist for either one of them programs, their projects, have already been their mined. They're minted. They're done. They haven't. They're in a vault somewhere, whatever. Okay. When I first got here, XRP, and I don't want to give advice for it, XRP is putting himself in a good position. And I haven't followed what was going on with the court, but yeah, no XRP, right. But dude from Stellar, because Stellar price was so low, he took half the coins that are in this, wherever this place is, he took half the coins and burned them. Pissed him off to get Stellar price up. Okay. Yes. When you have access to that kind of thing, that's kind of price manipulation, price stuff you can do. There are some issues that I have some concerns about once Pi goes phase 3 and how Pi protocol is as close. I mean, how closely it is to Stellar, and how much coin is going to be pre-minted and how much is going to be mined as we go, or whatever. Because the supply of Pi that I've calculated it's up there. Because I don't know for sure, I don't put it out. But I was just talking to somebody else who did their own calculation, and their supply is even higher than mine was. Okay, and if that amount of coin is pre-minted, pre-mined, and then it's in a vault or a wallet or whatever, that somebody physically, like the court team, or a person has access to that amount of Pi, that amount of pre-minted stuff, I do have concern with that. I do, because that opens up a can of worms for a lot of people. I mean, it opens up a can of worms for a lot of things. But I'm not losing sleep over it until we get to phase 3, because that's when it counts. Right now it doesn't. I mean, it's nothing. It doesn't count. It's what it is. But it's something to keep in the back of my mind, that when that happens, that's something I'm going to keep an eye on. This could be down the road. Okay. Now, I've gotten into major discussions or whatever, and reading the white paper again tonight. Yeah. There will be, from what I've read and how it's going to play out, there will be a pre-minted pool of Pi. Then there will be a newly minted Pi every day. Because, and I may have gotten away with that. Anyway, I've talked way too long again, and I hope I shed some light on it. Okay, our value comes down to us, but we have to think about. I mean, we have to think about it. Think about why we're doing it, what it's doing, where. Okay, and I will say, and I'll let this go. All right, we've had a phase 3 launch already. Yeah, we had a pre-trial. Yeah, we had a pre-trial. And a lot of what I'm based on today came from back then. I think it was either right after, we had the 100,000 halving, and then I think the in-app transfer started after that. I think it was around 200,000 people, so between 100 and 100,000 people. We knew in-app transfer pilot was coming up. We knew it. I mean, the core now. They put out information when they feel they need to, or have time to, or whatever it is. Could the communication be a little better? Maybe. But the information we're getting, if you take what they're saying and listen to what they're saying and put it together, we're getting information to keep us. We're getting enough information to keep us where we're at. I mean, to let us know where we're at. They put out enough information to let us know where we're at and what we should be doing that we haven't been doing. That's my opinion on it. Because when we knew when the in-app transfer was getting ready to start. You know, we had it, okay? And the community back then are people that know the space, that have been around the space. They've been around the space from 2019. They've been around. They're businessmen. They're investors. They know, man. I mean, I'm not saying the people coming in today aren't smart, and I don't know what your skill set is or what you're doing. From my eyes, from what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing the same. I'm not seeing the same. I'm not sure what the right word is. The same drive, the people that were in the community back then, or the majority of the people that were in the community back then, were self-motivated, self-starters, we may have gone off in the wrong direction sometimes, or whatever it is. And I know we did. But these people were proactive. These economies that started up, and whatever it is, most of them are from the in-app transfer pilot. And from that, and self-starters, self-motivating, and take things upon themselves to make things happen. If something goes wrong, they don't cry about it and cry about it, they fix it. Okay? And that's what happened back at that time period. When we knew in-app transfer was coming up, Pi had no value. It was Pi back then. Actually, was even worse because there were no economies to even kind of glimpse at. There was Pi was a goose egg. And see, we didn't worry about Pi being a goose egg because we knew where Pi was, we knew where it was going, and we knew when it wasn't going to be a goose egg. Okay? Pi's in development. You have to understand it's in development, and no matter how long it takes, we're starting at A, and we're going to C. Right now we're B, but you have to be able to measure where we're at in B. You know, are we like 2/3, a third, half, whatever? You know, I mean, setback. And it doesn't really have to come from Corey. All you have to do is look around and see what's going on in the community. You can get a pretty good idea where we're at. Listen to what they're talking about, the test blockchain and the nodes. All you have to do is listen a little bit, and you can get a feel for where we're at. Where you're at. Anyway, so back then, in-app transfer was coming up. We knew it. Corporate out, we knew it. These same people, the guys that were figuring, speculating, price, are probably better than most of what's out that you see on the internet today. No, these guys are sharp. They have their own computer programs, and these guys know, and gals, there are some gals there that know crypto. Yeah. When I see some people coming in today, I have to be careful, because there are people that are coming in today that believe they know what they believe they know. Anybody that knows the space and you start listening to people like that, yes, they've been around the space, they do the thing, but I don't think they know, because if they knew, they wouldn't be here. I mean, they would be here in Pi, pushing a button, doing their thing and whatever, but they wouldn't know, because they would be off doing their thing. Anyway, these guys, the guys that were in here their computer programs, they probably wrote themselves, that are better than any speculation you're going to get on anywhere that's public. These guys are a lot more accurate. I'm just putting that out to let you know where the community was at the time. And you know, now you hear what's Pi value, when it's going to go live, when it's going to do this, you know, how much is this, what's soul supply, you hear all this? We didn't really talk that back then. Yes, we talked about, I mean, guys were running their own speculations and throwing out numbers. No. And it got to a point to where the community agreed upon, I think it was 20, I'm thinking it was 20 cents. I don't think we reached a quarter. I think it was 20 cents. It started out like 15 or something like that. And it went up to 20 cents. We had it at 20 cents. Had nothing to do with core, had nothing to do with the exchanges outside, had nothing to do with anybody. It was us. I don't even know if we really even looked outside the app. We were in chat, I mean, we were in chat almost every night. Or sometime throughout the day, you ran across the same people for weeks, months at a time. Yeah. We, as a community, agreed upon. Yeah, we'll go with 20 cents. That sounds fair for what it is and what's going on with the exchange. Yeah, 20 cents. We'll go on. The same people, the community was probably split about 50-50. Half were selling, half were buying. And there were all different sized stacks of pie. I mean, from people coming in early and could get teams or whatever, and whatever. And then there were teams like me that didn't have a whole lot. Okay? But the ones that were looking to sell to get that dollar bill or a couple of dollar bills to take care of what they needed to. The ones that were looking to buy, yeah, we're building our stack and we're building our investment. We're building. Because now, if you understand what I'm just saying, because we were thinking about exchanges and pie trading on the exchanges. That's how we had figured out pie was going to change. That's how we figured out pie was going to do what it's going to do. Pretty much everybody was from the exchanges. We were going to put pie on the exchanges. We were going to pump and dump it. Okay? I'm telling you, so you understand where we were at back then. And there were a couple of guys that were lining buyers and sellers up. If you were selling X amount of pie and if you were buying X amount of pie, they were hooking them up. I'm sure that list is probably around somewhere. One of these guys probably has it somewhere. And they were lining up buyers and sellers. So when Core opened the in-app transfer, it was guaranteed. It was a done deal. Because at the same time, we were looking, all right, if I'm buying your pie, how am I getting you cash? And how can we make sure that it's going to happen? It's going to be. We already looked at. They had escrow people, lined up. Instead of going through an exchange, we were going to go through an escrow account. They would send theirs. The escrow account would send this and send that. Already figured out. We weren't even thinking about an economy, exchanging for goods and services. It was all trade for a different currency. Okay? We had to be. I'm going to say. We were probably a month getting it all worked together. We probably had it all sorted out maybe 2 weeks or so before the in-app transfer it was going to happen. We had it. It was partying. We were doing yeah. In-app transfer. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I say I don't think Core is going to launch phase 3 the way the majority of people think, because that day came. That day came to in-app transfer. Only 300 of them got the in-app transfer. And were instructed that we can't sell it for cash. And it was probably being said, but we weren't listening. Okay? 300 people got the in-app transfer, and you can't sell it for cash. So that means all the work that we put in this time to get everything lined up, ready to go, was for naught. It was a total waste of time. And I don't want to say it was a waste of time. But it really was, because when the in-app transfer pilot started, everything that we had figured out our way people had cash ready to go. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen. And yeah. Now see, if something were like that to happen today, this is my opinion from seeing what I'm seeing. If something like that were to happen today, oh, you'd have people pissed off and throwing stuff and bad mouthing corn and pie and that, and slamming doors and crying and whining and you didn't do it. Okay, that's what I see today. So, if pie isn't going to launch the way you think it's going to launch, be ready. And I've been telling people for a month, so a couple of weeks, at least a month, probably longer. If pump and dump is your strategy, and that's what you're focused on, and that's what you're going to do, and you got it all lined out, and you know you got it all mapped out, and you're going to make it happen, and that's your plan of you're going to go. Kudos. But I would also figure out one or two alternative plans, just in case. I'm telling you, just in case, because from my experience, you better have one or two other plans. That doesn't count the exchange. Yeah. And see, the guys back then, people back then, yeah, there may have been a little grumbling, or maybe, okay, but they didn't. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. And instead of, we didn't start pulling it apart and trying to force it into what. Why? I mean, why? Why didn't it go? Why did it go? Why didn't it go that way? Why didn't it go our way? Why didn't it do this? Why? What was going on? Then? And at that point, a lot of us woke up and started to see what pie is. Pie is the money. Pie is not looking to be traded on the exchange. Will it? Yes. I'm not. But its goal is not to be, because its foundation is not. Our foundation is the community. Our foundation is the community. Okay? And to trade pie, crypto, any crypto, you have to trade it on the exchange. Legally, if you're going to take one currency and trade it for another currency, it has to go through a regulated body. It has to go through the exchange. But once you put it through the exchange, then you're liable for taxes, and you're liable for capital gains, and you're liable because for them to get their license, they have to be within guidelines that are set up for them to get their license. And the system we have today, yeah, I understand money laundering and all that, but if you trade X amount of coins and turn it into X amount of other currency, doesn't matter what the currency is, you've made a capital gains. Yeah, because you're taking this and it's worth this, and you're selling it because you want a profit. Well, what you're selling it for and what your profit is, that's your capital gains, and that's the tax you are responsible for that tax. Yeah. And I know people are, trying to get around it, trying to do this, trying to do whatever it is. Okay. There's no reason for it, really. I don't like paying taxes like anybody else. I really don't. To a point. Okay? To keep us as a species, a society, going with, now the way government is going today, yeah, I think there should be a whole lot of different changes on the government, but to take care of each other and we have to pay taxes. I mean, now the amount of taxes we pay, that's a different issue, but nobody, anyway, because if once the taxes and all that kind of stuff change, you don't put the people in office that you were putting in office. And I know they're all crooked and they're all crooks and they're all part of the same system, whatever. But you just don't keep putting the same people back in the office. You just don't do it. I don't vote, so I ain't got no reason to bitch. But, so in a way, I've given up stuff too, because I don't. But if you're from the blue states, it's going to be good. So I don't, yeah. But you stop putting in the people that are there. We do. I don't know if we would ever get to a point to where we wouldn't have to pay anything. Because if you have a government, you have to pay for the government. Now, have a government and the government's out of it. But then you're starting to get into a lot of other stuff. But it's true. If we have a government, we have to pay for the government. Now that I buy. But when the government is abusing their power, their whatever, then it's time for change. We are at that change. We are. Bitcoin was. They could have changed that. It only takes a little bit to get out from underneath. Because here's where the power of crypto comes in. The power of pi. We're getting cash. I mean, we're getting cash from this side because right now there's no way that pi is going to replace anything to where you can take pi to a vendor and go get something. And, okay, we're not there. We can trade it amongst us, and if we get a mom and pop place that they become a pioneer, we can trade that. Okay, that's how that'll expand. But as long as I don't trade this for another currency, I have no capital gains on pi. So that means I can trade pi anywhere around the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can trade pi because pi is a peer-to-peer trading platform, and pi is awake 24/7. If I can't sleep, I may have to go to some different country or whatever, you know. But I can buy stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with pi. No tax, no whatever. Yes, now I know shipping and all other stuff has to come into play and whatever. Now, if you've bought anything online, and I hear that, well, the shipping is going to be, we're going to have to pay with cash, we're going to have to do whatever with shipping. Okay. Give it a rest. If you do any shopping online now, outside of Amazon Prime where you get free shipping, if you do any other shopping online, most likely the buyer is responsible for the shipping. Buy it off the eBay, the buyer is responsible for the shipping. Well, because you can't do it all in pi, well, yeah, pi, there's nothing saying going in that pi is going to cover everything. Well, you can buy what you want with pi, pay the shipping in cash. Well, it's not a big deal. If you're making it that big a deal, there's something else going on. I believe you have some other motives or something going on. Because pi is not to replace it. Pi is looking to raise the standard of living for everybody in the community around the world. Now, is it going to raise the standard of living higher for some than others? Yes. It's meant to. Nowhere does it say the pi is going to make us millionaires, billionaires, buy us Lambos, do all this other stuff. It doesn't even say it's going to raise our standard of living. Okay? If I'm getting an income of pi that is coexisting with what I have already, and when I don't have to worry about my finances and how I'm going to make my bills each week, okay, that's financial freedom. And if I don't have to worry about government telling me how and when I can do, or if they're going to take my money or whatever, that's peace of mind, financial freedom. Where I choose to spend my pi, financial freedom. Yeah. Okay. That's what pi is offering. That's what pi is offering. Now, the sky is the limit. I mean, the sky is the limit. It is. Because if we don't give anything away from pi, we have it. And as long as we have the power long enough to get it doing what it's supposed to, it's a supplement. Yeah. And if I'm using pi, and I keep repeating, if I'm using pi to buy what I want and need, want and need, but it's primarily need, but if I can buy what I want and need, and I don't have to spend, if I take that same amount that I used in pi, I take it out of my pile of cash, and I put it in somewhere else, I've made money. Because I used what was in my pocket. I mean, you can do you have to trade on your shit. Do it in your head, man. All right, I'm going to take X amount of this, I'm going to buy X amount of pie, then I'm going to take this X amount of pie, and I'm going to go buy that. You just didn't have to pay the middleman, okay? I bought it with pi. I didn't have to use my cash. I'll take my cash that I would have used, put it away, and before you know it, you'll have a stack of cash in there. You'll have a stack of cash in there. And then if you want to take that cash and put it into better investments or whatever, yeah, but you're still being able to use Pi. And you haven't given anything away. You haven't given anything to exchanges. You haven't given anything to the tax board. You haven't. Okay, we've kept it all inside. That is the power of crypto. That is the power of what crypto should have been. And they found it down on the dark web, and that's exactly what it was doing down on the dark web. But the shady stuff that it was doing down there, that is what. That wasn't on the coin. That was on the people using the coin. And I see that. I see those same people up here trying to do the same thing up here. That isn't Pi, man. That isn't Pi. Pi does not need to be forced anymore. It doesn't. And one thing that I have left out, that has been left out and not talked, it hasn't been talked about since the coinvention. And it should have been talked about before the coinvention, is community governance. Okay. If you look at most of the crypto projects out today, and you read what's coming down from, like, the U.S. government, they are not worried about a lot of these cryptos. They're not. They have no reason to worry about it. Because where most of these cryptos come up short is community governance. Yeah. When Zuckerberg was going through all his stuff and being pulled in front of Congress and all that to shut him down, there was a reason they were doing that, because they knew. They know the power of crypto. And if Zuckerberg would have been able to get his foot in the door with the size of Facebook, 2.5 million? He's got a big platform. Now, whether it's, I don't want to get into whatever, okay. But if he could have launched a crypto on that platform with that many people, yeah, he could have broken Facebook away from everybody. Yeah, that's the power of crypto. That's the power that Bitcoin had. That's what Satoshi invented. Okay, that's why they shut him down. He wouldn't. The parent company is their government. I mean, the top runs Facebook. They control Facebook. And if you'd have thrown their own currency in, it'd be like Disney money. I mean, the easiest way to put it is like Disney money. But crypto, the difference between crypto and Disney money is Disney money can never come off of Disneyland. That's the only place it will ever have value. Crypto has the potential to move out of the community. And if Zuckerberg would have gotten that to happen, yeah, that's a community, even a community of this size, with its own stable user, and where Bitcoin was, because it's not stable user. And I think Libra, when I first came in, when I was doing a little bit of research on Libra, if I were going to compare Pi to anything, Libra would have been the one I compared it to. They were going after they were doing the same thing, going after the same market, going after the same target. Maybe not the same community, but they were targeting the same thing. But that wouldn't have been bad. It wouldn't have been bad. Well, depending on how that would have been, whatever. Because, and nobody talked about the governance of 5 million people. Not very many. I got to talk about a little bit of the coinvention. But we're almost 20 million people, and nobody's talking about Pi governance. If you take a currency as strong as what it should be, and has a value, usable value, and trading and moving, that is the product. That is the saleable product. And what scares the government is a crypto that will come up with the potential of Pi and its own governance. Because once you break the coin out of the system, the crypto out of the system, okay, they don't control it anymore. They can try to, and they're trying to. Okay. And I see them. I'm with getting into legal stuff and how it has to be registered and all this stuff and whatever it has to do. But if you can break it out of central bank and not under control of, It's like its own sovereign currency. Its own sovereign currency. And you put in a community governing itself. It's like a secret. I mean, it's like a secret society. We're not a secret society, but it's on that order because we have our own government. We're self-governing with our own currency. Okay? That's what. I don't know. Man, I've been trying. I don't know anymore. I don't know how to explain it anymore. And maybe I'm not doing a good job explaining it the way I'm explaining it. And all it is one. All it takes, well, a couple of steps. Okay? And if you out of all of this, and if you are still considering dumping it for pennies, God help us. God help us. Because from what I see in chat, and what I hear in chat, now it's getting a little better over the last few days. I'm not hearing it as much. But if there is a big enough pie community inside the pie community, that when pie goes phase 3, I don't think Core's going to do a mass launch. I don't think they are. I think they're going to do a progressive whatever or a soft whatever. It will lead into. We're not all going phase 3 at the same time. No. Because Core's known this from the jump. I mean, I just woke up to what it all was. I did. I mean, I knew what it, but I just woke up to what's the power of crypto. I don't even want to say pi. It's the power of crypto. Then pi. Of what it can actually do, and with what Core has written, and I think that we'll release in. I hear it being it's a progressive decentralization or whatever. Nice words. That sounds good. Progressive decentralization. Just means it's going to take a while to get there. Soft launch. For me, it's soft launch because I understand soft launch a little better. And all soft launch is, or progressive decentralization, is doing it in little chunks. Because, in my opinion, if Core were to go, all right, we're phase 3, pop, we're done. I would imagine Pi would probably die within a couple of days. I really do. Because everything I just talked about giving up our control, giving up it would just be given up. We would may as well just go hand it to them. Yeah. Let's see if they can do something with it. Because if you run out to the exchange and you sell it for whatever the exchange is going to list it for, one, you're taking money out of your pocket. You done pissed me off because you just took money out of my pocket. And yeah, because anybody going to the exchanges is just taking money out of everybody else's pocket. Mm-hmm. And if the community that goes to the exchanges and dumps it, and the community that's inside isn't big enough to absorb it, we will never get that. We will never get that value back ever, and Pi will become. I don't care how hard we try, we will never. Right, if we say inside the community, we are at $100. I'm going to use $100. We are at $100. We all accept your trade, and we're accepted. Okay? And you take a majority of community, and they take it out there and they dump it for a dime. They just shot the value in here. They turn the value in here to price. And if the value in here goes to price, it means the coin is not. No, we can't use it. There's no. If they took Pi down to 20 cents, 20 cents a coin on a $20 or $30 item. It's a lot of coin. Most of the over here don't have that kind of coin, and people that do have that coin aren't going to spend it for that kind. They're not going to spend that kind of coin for that because they shouldn't. But now, if nobody's spending, nobody's using. It's got to move to have an economy. If it's not moving, there's no economy, and if there's no economy, it's worthless. It's worthless. Trading on the exchange at that value is worthless. And I'd really I really hate to see that happen because it's the same people. It would be the same people that killed 2 projects that could get us normal folk out from under big business. Yeah. 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 So anyway, it's not gonna happen in exchange first, then community. It's got to happen community first, then exchange. And we have to be in a position to turn the tables and leverage the power that we have to make it happen. If that happens, we are in the history books because there's no other project out there Bitcoin has ever attempted it. And I know I could probably keep going on forever because now if you look at the differences between Pi and Bitcoin, if you can't see them by now, God, man, God. One person, one account, one mobile device, one node on PC. That's all you should need to know that sets Pi apart from Bitcoin. That's it. I know I talk long. I talk real long. But there's a lot of information that you need. Somebody needs to grab it, man. Needs to grab it, start looking at it and seeing. Okay, yes, I am just one person. I am one miner. I am one pioneer. That's all. All I am is a pioneer. I'm no different than you guys are. I'm a pioneer. The only difference is I've been here. I've taken my time to research what I got into. I've learned what I've learned, and it all hasn't happened overnight. It's happened over 2 years, and I will tell you, I may be all Pi, and I may be a part Pi cheerleader, and I may be talking, and I may be, I've been called a bot, I've been called brainwashed by core, I've been whatever. I would say, none of that's happened. Because I have my moments and I have my days and I see some things that most people don't see. And those upset me. And even though I've committed to be here till the end, there's been a few times between then and now that I was ready to walk. Because things weren't adding up, things weren't. Okay? And if it wasn't for the mentors and the friends that I have in Pi to help me see it in a different way, in a different perspective, a different light, and come to an understanding with it, yeah, I'd probably been gone a long time ago. I believe the potential of Pi. I believe Pi has the potential to do big things, great things, in the respect of change, giving us more options, creating someplace for the future of your kids. I don't have kids, so I can't say my kids, but creating a different future for your children, man. Because we have the availability to do that. I know it's so grinding, whatever. No, I am a free thinker. I think for myself, and since I've been in Pi has given me a voice, and I also can't. If I know the information is bad, I can't just sit by and go, yeah, that's what. No, because I can't do it. I can't let bad information go. And trying to get a little understanding. And I could be off. I will be the first one to be off. I could be off the mark on everything. I don't think so. I might be on. But from what people are putting out from the exchange perspective, and from what I'm putting out from Pi's perspective, when we hit phase 3 and it all becomes real, who are you going to bet on? That's what it comes down to. Are you going to hedge your bet, staying with what you know, or are you going to be a pioneer and going to be something different? Yeah. Core did not call us pioneers for nothing. But until it's all out there and it's one of those things, we really don't know. I will say I'm speculating because I don't know. I don't know 100% for sure. But I'm giving it my best educated guess research. So, and even if I'm off the mark, even if I'm out there, I'm probably a lot closer than what it is people are taking on the case. And one of my goals is just to get you to think different than what you're thinking. Because if you stay thinking the same, and you stay in that same deal, that same thing, we will, as a human race, we will never move forward. And and I will tell you, now this, from what I'm seeing out of this community, I don't know, they need to start teaching critical thinking back in the schools. They need to start teaching it in the elementary schools, because we have lost critical thinking, problem solving. I'm only judging on what I'm seeing and hearing. And anyway, I know I went way over and whatever, but it is what it is. I'm out. Later.